Hello, I'm here to talk to you about flares and the different pyrotechnics required on boats and not required on boats. And this is in a way to clarify the different signals, the types, their names. So hopefully this video will clarify this and it will help you, depending on the size of the boat that you have, which flares you need. So to begin, there are different lengths of boats, and as the boats progress from one size to the next, the requirements change. It's in metric, so it's in meters, and I can translate that approximately for you in feet. So let's go over the different classes of flares, and at the end of the video, I'll talk to you about the ones that you need for those different lengths of boats. So there are 4 classes of flares for the marine use. There's class A, B, C, and D. And we'll go over each of them. So class A flares are parachute type flares. They are these ones. They are the strongest and the most powerful flares available. They are sold each, and they are not the least expensive. Actually, they're the most expensive of the flares. When you're trying to purchase them for a minimum quantity required on your boat, they're not the best option, but they are the most powerful of them all. They are, as I said, a parachute flare, which means that when you release the cap and trigger it, the flare will fire up into the air and will slowly come down, continuing to burn once the parachute releases itself. So this is what they call a A-class flare. Next, we have B-class flares, and B-class flares are available in 2 types. They are the bullet that you see here, which is a 12 gauge bullet that is offered either as a standalone bullet or in a gun, so you can get them as a kit. The kit contains, in this case, 6 bullets, and you insert the cartridge in, fire it like an actual gun, and it will shoot out twin stars, so 2 stars fly out into the air. There's no parachute, so they fly out, and like a firework, they go until they burn out, and that's it. So although they're called twin star, and that's sometimes a confusion, they are considered one single flare. So this is one B-class flare used with a gun. The other B-type flare, which is an identical twin star bullet, considered a single flare, twin star, single flare, twin star. This one, the only difference is it doesn't require an actual plastic gun to trigger them. So the way these work, the class Bs, is there's a little chain that comes out with a firing mechanism built in the actual piece of plastic, and then this acts as the barrel of the gun that shoots out the twin star flares. So both of these are what they call the class B. So these 2, class B. Next is class C. Class C is a handheld flare. It's one that you hold in your hand and you wave it. So this is a class C flare, and a class C flare, you hold it and wave down anybody who can see it. It's not as powerful as a aerial flare, obviously, and it's lower down, but it is still considered an acceptable flare. So that's class C, handheld. Lastly, we have D. D is smoke. You've got them here as a smoke that you hold in your hand, and a canister type flare, not a flare, but a canister type smoke mechanism that once you trigger it, either one, they release some smoke. Now, these are approved class D flares, smoke. However, Transport Canada limits the quantity. If you're required to have a flare, they limit the quantity because at nighttime, smoke is not very visible. So you can have smokes on board, and they're quite useful. They do project quite a bit of smoke. However, at night, they're not very good. And therefore, that's why they limit, within your range of boat, they limit the amount that you can have to be completely approved. So if you want to have a mix of them, that's great. You can have a parachute, you can have a class D smoke as well. But you can, in most cases, smokes, they're limited to maximum 2 as approved. If you've got 4, they only count them as 2. And we'll talk about the different ones that you need for the different boats' lengths, as explained before. So now we've gone through A, B, C, and D. So those are the approved flares for marine use. And so let's go on to the lengths of boat and the quantities required for each. So in a 0 to, I believe it is 6 meters, let me confirm it. I use our Entrepot Marine Mart catalog as a reference because they've got the Transport Canada information built into that. So that's quite a useful, and they're available. They are called our Entrepot Marine catalogs. So you can get one, you can order one. They're quite useful. And inside they do have, in the section for security, they have all of the registered, approved requirements depending on the length of the boat and the type of the boat. So back to it. So 0 to 6 meters. 0 to 6 meters translates to 0 to 19.5 feet of boat. They require not necessarily to have on board. What they say is that it's either a waterproof flashlight or you would have to have 6 flares, a mix. So for the economy part of it, the flashlight is the least expensive option. However, you can have either the flashlight and some flares. Either way, the minimum requirement that it is a waterproof flashlight or 6 of mix of any of them. Remember, always maximum 2 of the smokes. Next, from 6 meters on to 9 meters, which translates into 19.8 foot to 29.6 foot, then you are required to carry them on board. And now it's not a waterproof flashlight or flares, it's a waterproof flashlight and flares. And flares, quantity minimum 6. So, how to go about shopping, you can pick any which one you want. From a budget standpoint, you can look at either buying 6 of these in a bag, they're available as a 6-pack, or you can buy, they're usually sold in 3 packs, so you can buy a 3-pack like this twice if you've got the gun. If you don't have the gun, you can buy the kit that includes the 6 bullets already as a kit, and now with that and a flashlight, you're good to go on the flare side of it. You can also buy these handheld flares. They are sold in packs of 3. The parachutes are sold individually. The smokes are sold individually. Following that, the larger boats, so from 9 meters and above, so we're going from 9 meters to 12 meters, which translates from 29.5 foot to 39.4, it doubles the quantities required. So now from 6, you need 12. So if you don't have the gun, from a budget standpoint, again, it's probably cheaper to get this kit here, if you don't have any at all, and purchase the base kit here. So what they call the kit basic 6. And the kit basic 6 will cover 6 bullets, and then you buy 2 of these, 3-pack of bullets. So now you've got 6, 9, 12, you're all good to go. You can then change it up as well. If you already have the gun, you just the best and the most economical way is to get 4 of these. So 4 times 3, 12, it's all set. If you want to have a mix, because sometimes it's great to have a mix for different situations, you can buy the gun, a pack of 3 like this, and then you can go on to getting 3 of the B class like this, or you can get some parachutes, some smokes. But for the majority of boaters, they end up buying the bullets. They are expensive, and so that's a consideration. The other thing that's now important to mention is that flares do have expiry dates, and the expiry date is not what's necessarily posted on the flares. The manufacturing date is posted on the flare. What that means is in Canada, those flares are good for 4 years. In the States, it's different. In Europe, it's different. That's why they don't put the expiry date, because these are sold throughout the world, and they may have different expiry dates. So to make things simple, when you're looking at one of those bullets and you're shopping them, it's the manufacturing date that is important. So in the event, for example, you see manufacturing date January 2026, so January 1st, 2026 in Canada, you're going to be good for 4 years as of January 1st, 2026. Now, lastly, I wanted to show you some unapproved flares and some other security products that might be useful for you. So these here are whistles. They are required. So this is in the requirements, and 2 types of horns. So you've got a rechargeable horn that you use like a bicycle pump style to recharge the pressure, and then you can reuse this infinitely. And you also have the compressed gas horn. These or a whistle are considered the same. So a whistle or a horn, same thing. Check either in the catalog or Transport Canada, you are required to carry a whistle, depending, actually most of the boats and watercrafts do require them. So they are not considered a flare. Next, we've got mirrors, signaling mirrors. So this is a patch that you can put onto your life vest or different, any kind of patch that you want to glue on. You've got a signaling mirror, so you can aim it with a hole in the middle to try and reflect. So you can reflect to another boat, and the eye is the aiming piece. And so you've got these in different configurations. So you've got the round one, you've got the large rectangle with the hole in the middle, and you've got the little miniature one. Now, these are not considered flares. They're not considered anything but help for different situations that you might have. So these are all different, unique and useful security features. Road flares. Road flares are not marine flares, so they're great in a car, they're great in a truck, and they're great when you have a flat tire, but they're not considered as a handheld flare. So this road flare is great, and we do sell them, but remember, these are for the cars, these are for road vehicles, not marine vehicles. They can look similar, so just verify. They're written usually road, marine. Next, we have bear bangers and dye. Dye is not considered a flare, so it's great to have because during the daytime, you add the dye around the boat, it makes this giant orange patch. You might have seen that in the movies. So this we do sell. It's quite a little handy tool to have. Well, it's not a tool, but it's a handy security feature. They are not a flare. And lastly, bear bangers. Now, bear bangers are for hiking and for backcountry. We do sell them. They come just the same, a plastic gun and bullets, but they are not. They cannot be used on a boat. They can be used, but they just go pow, and they don't act as a legitimate flare. So hopefully that clarifies that. So if you have any questions, please contact us. Thank you.